Purdue is swinging a giant hammer and clobbering everybody in their path, riding the nation's longest winning streak at 15 straight. But tonight, the Boilers take their swings at a ranked team for the first time since November. This is the Big Ten on ESPN from a raucous Mackey Arena in West Lafayette. We have a showdown between Purdue and Michigan. Purdue leading the conference undefeated in league play along with Ohio State. Michigan has been hot as well. They've won 10 of 12, but the Wolverines need to win tonight if they want to stay in the regular season race. Glad to have you with us from Mackey Arena. Reese Davis and Robbie Hummel here, the former Purdue All-American. Who knows how crazy this place can get. And Robbie, they're hoping that they're going to see the best Purdue team of all time. Certainly the way they're playing right now has been sensational, and they get off to great starts night in and night out.
Well, they really have, and they've been led by Carson and Vince Edwards, those two combining in their last three first halves for 78 points. Their opponents just 69, so they have been on an absolute tear to start basketball games. Carson Edwards, a dynamic scorer. Vincent Edwards, a more versatile player. The two of them combined to make up this lethal Purdue attack, and Michigan is going to have to be worried about those two all night.
This Purdue team, Robbie, is coming off a performance against Iowa in which they hit 20 three-pointers. Nobody shoots the three better among major conference teams than do the Boilermakers. But Michigan played them to a one-point game the last time. A couple of big fellas, Isaac Haas and Mo Wagner to jump it up. Maybe not the greatest toss in the world, but Carson Edwards controls it, and the Boilers in their gray will get things started. Here's an early touch for Isaac Haas. Haas in his last two games had just one field goal, and they get it to him early.
And pay attention, that post-entry feed comes from the top of the key. No help side there. Isaac Haas able to seal his man and get to his right hand.
Haas is a giant human being. 7'2", 290. And here's the matchup you'll see. Haas inside on Wagner, and Wagner able to step outside and knock down the three as part of his game.
Those are the looks that Matt Painter does not want to see. Mo Wagner has really torched this Purdue defense in the past, and if you're going to give him open shots, he's going to knock them down.
No double team help. Haas misses the short one, and Wagner pulls it away. One thing Mo said to me today was, look, Haas is huge. He's going to score. He might even dunk on me some, but they want to make sure to take away clean looks from three.
Well, it's going to be interesting, and you mentioned it here, Reese. Do they let Isaac Haas play one-on-one as we see Rockman get to his right hand and lay it in? Do you let Isaac Haas play one-on-one and just shut down the perimeter?
Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman with his first bucket in Michigan. Jumps out to a three-point lead. Now, in the meeting in Ann Arbor, which turned out to be a one-point Purdue win, it was the Boilers who built a double-digit lead in the first half. Michigan had a lead late. Couldn't close the deal. Vince Edwards misses from in close. Here comes Xavier Simpson, much improved sophomore guard for John Beilein's team. Wagner's spinning, and they're going to call an offensive foul for the hook.
P.J. Thompson pushes him out, and yeah, he certainly does hook him. We're going to see switches all night with this Purdue defense.
Maybe we'll look at that again. I'm not so sure. I'm not in agreement with John Beilein, who's the winningest coach in Michigan history. I didn't necessarily love that offensive foul call when guarded by the smaller guy. But we can look again at another whistle, and we're calling an illegal screen. Was that an even up?
Yeah, it might have been. Let's take a look right here. Mo Wagner on the post, pushed out. P.J. Thompson. Oh, no, it's a hook.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Mo was guilty of being way taller than P.J. He swung the arm around and got the hook. So if you had less than 2 minutes in before I criticize the officiating, you're a winner. John Teskey is checked in for Michigan. Make sure that Wagner, who's an emotional player, settles down, doesn't get himself in early foul trouble. Michigan could ill afford that with the shot clock headed toward 5. Abdur-Rahman, soft touch, and Teskey was the one to knock it out of bounds, and it'll be Purdue ball. Here is Matt Painter coaching at his alma mater, his 13th season at Purdue. He's won 284 games, won the Big Ten regular season championship last year, took his team to the Sweet 16 where they lost to Kansas. Both of these teams actually in the Sweet 16 and same regional last year, and both fell Michigan going down to Oregon. Haas working on Teske, and Haas has his second bucket.
In their last meeting, John Teske, I thought, able to push Isaac Haas off the block, but right there, Haas catches it deep and gets to his right jump hook where he is so comfortable.
Only 6 field goal attempts in the last 2 games for Haas, a product of the way teams have defended Purdue. But he had a season-high 14 shots the first time these 2 teams played. Haas, not noted as a shot blocker, but he swats it away, and it looks as if Michigan, the last to touch it, does even more productive block shot by the big fella.
And certainly Haas, not the best shot blocker in the Big Ten, but here comes over and meets Charles Matthews on his way to the rim.
Haas averaging a little over 13 points. Doesn't rebound at a high rate necessarily for a man his size, but he can score in time. That Teske on his hip. Nobody coming to double. Haas, cap.
Well, it looks like John Beilein is content to let Isaac Haas play one-on-one, and so far, he's been able to get the better of both John Teske and Mo Wagner.
Beilein stretched out of the coaching box on a knee, signaling plays to his team. And Purdue defense, among the top 5 in the country in defensive efficiency. What a great cut by Matthews, and he just gets squashed by Haas, who sort of landed on him, and the transfer from Kentucky is slow to get to his feet.
Goodness, you have that man fall on you. You said it, Reese. Great cut by Charles Matthews. Blows by his defender. A nice head fake as well. Gets the 7-2 Haas in the air, and unfortunately, Charles Matthews pays the price.
He is 7'2". More important to Charles at that particular moment was nearly 300 pounds. This is Charles Matthews in his last 5 games. And remember, he didn't play a lot of minutes at Kentucky, sat out a year after the transfer. There's some aspects of his game that you see where he's been strong and others where he hasn't been right.
Yeah, and he's been able to get to the rim and really get to his pull-up. And he's got a pretty good-looking pull-up. He has good elevation on it, sometimes a little off balance. So when he gets really off balance, that's when his shot goes a little south. But he's been able to generate some opportunities, just hasn't been able to finish at the rim. We've seen his shot blocked already once tonight. And his pull-up jumper has really just kind of let him down. 9% over his last 5 games.
Matthews makes both free throws, which is a victory for him. He's only shooting 54%, and we were at practice today. Beilein was on Charles and Xavier Simpson, for that matter. 8 extra free throws at the end.
Michigan's defense pushing Purdue's attack out. Extra aggressive on the dribble handoffs, trying to make the Boilermakers a little uncomfortable.
And Edwards with a sweet move to get the bucket.
Showing off a little footwork there. He can score in so many ways. Such a versatile player. Guy that's unselfish but can also get his.
And the nation's second best three-point shooting team, best among all major conference teams, has all 4 field goals in the paint. Matt Harm's 32 is in for Haas now. Abdur-Rahman gets a clean look from the corner.
But that's a winning play from John Teske. It just shows up as a rebound in the box score, but just a huge boost for this Michigan attack, getting a second chance there, and Rahman calmly knocks down the corner 3.
Dakota Mathias. Purdue's first 3-point attempt on the way, and P.J. Thompson, who's shooting over 50% from behind the arc this year, misfires. High lob, terrific look from Matthews, and Teske there on the finish.
But you love the action. It's the roll and rise, and a riser coming up, a roller going to the rim. Purdue's defense gets lost, and Michigan able to capitalize for the easy 2.
Good hands from Isaiah Livers, but Purdue maintains possession. Mathias with a tough shot along the baseline.
Really impressed so far with Michigan's defense. They have made it tough on Purdue. Nothing easy out here right now, and really a forced look there from Dakota Mathias.
Michigan's defensive numbers, Robbie, are really strong. You made the comment while we were sitting around watching warm-ups. You think this might be as good a defensive team as Beilein has had at Michigan?
Well, he's been known so much for his offense, and he's such a great offensive coach, but this Michigan team, they make it tough on him.
Matthews, nice and soft, but he can't get the roll. Edwards. And Carson leaves it on the front of the rim, and Purdue's missed their first two from behind the arc. And so far, Michigan has accomplished its goal. They've kept Purdue from getting off to that quick start from behind the arc, and they've been able to answer, and they have a 4-point lead on the road, Rob.
And we saw it, Michigan going to a little pick and roll action, and so far, so good in West Lafayette for the Wolverines.
Critics and audiences agree.
Posting up, Luka Garza fronting him, Jordan Bohannon in the paint, two sets of eyes always on the big. Tough for him to get the ball in situations like this, and tonight been a little bit of a different story. One-on-one all night for Haas. He's been able to go to work and operate on the low block. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Does Michigan change their strategy as tonight goes on?
But it's simple math, though. I mean, it takes longer for twos to beat you than it takes for threes. And in that game that you showed, Michigan turns it over. That's not an ordinary occurrence for them. But look, you're not going to hit 20 threes every night. But over the last 8 games, Purdue has hit 103 out of 208 from three-point land as Haas returns and Harms will take a seat.
I mean, their last 4 games, they've made 12 threes in every one of them. And they've been unconscious. So if I'm coaching against Purdue, I'm letting Isaac Haas go one-on-one, and I'm not getting beat by the three-point shot because they've proven they can do that.
Ryan Klein into the game. He, too, a dangerous shooter from beyond the arc.
There's a battle on the block right now between John Teske and Isaac Haas. Some big bodies going at down there.
Edwards has his shot blocked. Livers on the rejection. And the freshman from Kalamazoo has it rim out. Haas with another rebound. Wagner's been on the bench for a while. Vince Edwards, there's a three.
And the maturation of Carson Edwards continues. Just a great look off the pick and roll. He knows he's got Vince Edwards rising behind him. Finds his man, and Vince Edwards knocks it down.
Carson Edwards from Texas, Atascocita. Vincent Edwards from Middletown. They're not related, though Vincent said he did have family in the Houston area. And Xavier Simpson, who has improved his shooting, did not do so on that particular attempt. Haas rolling. Yeah.
Isaac Haas rolling off the pick and roll. He does such a good job of hunting his shots to the rim, and there, Isaiah Livers a little late coming over. Haas able to finish through the contact, and he's looking for an and one.
In the 4 games coming into this one, as Carson Edwards delivered that pass, he had 19 assists and 1 turnover. This is a guy who was about 1-to-1 a year ago. For every assist, he had a turnover. His natural inclination is to score, but I think one of the reasons this Purdue team has really taken off is because of the decision-making, as Haas, who hit the game-winning free throw in Ann Arbor, tries to complete the three-point play, and he does.
You can look at Purdue's offense, and right now they're averaging 1.28 points per possession when he's on the floor. It's the highest in the Ken Pom era. I mean, that's an incredible stat. They have been so efficient with him on the court, especially as of late.
And a significant difference in drop-off when he's not on the floor. Nogel Eastern, number 20, is checked into the Purdue lineup as well. Harms is back. And the pull-up shot is knocked down by Jordan Poole, who is checked in for Beeline's team.
I love Jordan Poole's game. He's a guy that's going to make some mistakes. You saw him make a couple in their win against Rutgers, but he can score the basketball, and right there gets to his pull-up. Does a great job of finding his spot, knocking down the J.
Klein, pull-up, fire from the corner. And Grady Eifert into the game and into the box score with the rebound. It gets away. It's Michigan trying to push it. Purdue is back. Here's Poole again for 3.
That's what Jordan Poole does. He's come in, especially you look at the Maryland game, he was able to come in the second half and change that game for the better. for this Wolverine offense. And thus far, it's been instant offense off the bench for Jordan Poole.
And for Michigan, Michigan scored 7 points off its bench for the 3-point lead. Nojel Eastern off the Purdue bench. Fouled on his way to the basket by Livers. Back and forth we've gone. The Wolverines with a 3-point lead on the road. Cousins, a triple-double highlighted by going 40 and 24. NBA Countdown, 7 Eastern's on the ESPN app. You see the leading scorers in the league. Anthony Davis also in that game. Our new best friend, Robbie Hummel, has some experience guarding Anthony Davis during your NBA days, did you not?
I did, yeah. It was really fun. 35 minutes. He probably had about 48 points, and we lost the game. So really a good experience for me of guarding him.
Now you're telling the truth. Earlier you were telling me how you made it tough on him, made him work for everything.
Made him make contested J's. I wish I could say that, but unfortunately, he's pretty good.
A couple of guys out of Kentucky who have really put up some numbers for the Pelicans. Terry Oglesby, Rob Riley, and Chris Beaver, our officiating crew. Let's see what they're sorting out. Purdue's on a 15-game winning streak, which is the longest winning streak in the country. If they win tonight, it'll match the longest in school history. Most recently accomplished the 87-88 season. And it's unfair to say that they haven't been tested, but they are facing their first ranked opponent since November tonight in dealing with Michigan, who is in the top 25. The official just came over. Robbie, what are they?
They had a clock error, and they're trying to figure out with a stopwatch how much time is actually left on the clock. So
I was going to say, I didn't think I saw anybody do anything that would cause them to have to go to the monitor and figure things out. There's Rob Riley and Terry Oglesby over there saying, how much time do you think? They're going to look at the shot clock and figure that out. You know, initially, on the initial officials list tonight, we saw Gene Sterator's name, who's going to be officiating in the Super Bowl, also does college basketball games here. Let's see, we're watching this last possession. So we're at 11:06. I'm not sure that was the one that they're watching. I'm not sure that that's the issue right now. Heard Bob Wischusen the other day say that all replays should have a clock on them in all sports. It should be mandated for 1 minute. If they can't figure it out in a minute, let's just play.
Got to roll with it. I'd be okay with that. I mean, we start worrying about the clock at this point. I think it's kind of a moot point.
It may give Beeline some bad flashbacks this season going over there.
The clock stopped at 13:32. We don't have a look to fix it.
Well, there you go. The reason they weren't looking at that last possession now, or the possession that we showed you a moment ago, is that the clock stopped for a while, Terry Oglesby tells me, at 13:32, and they don't have a look to fix it. So we're going to roll with the 11:06. Nojel Eastern, freshman from Evanston, who's been getting more playing time of late, misses the first of 2 free throws. And he missed them both. And Haas comes out with the offensive rebound. So clock rolling, everybody living with just under 11 minutes to play. I was mentioning that Beeline might get some flashbacks. There was a crucial play late in the first meeting as Edwards knocks down the 3. That originally an out-of-bounds play, which led to the game-winning free throws, had been ruled in favor of Michigan's ball. They went and looked at it. It was a lengthy review, and they ended up giving the ball to Purdue, and the Boilermakers ended up winning it. Wagner goes behind his back, and soon he was separated from the basketball.
Look at that steal.
Haas, that's deep position. That's easy.
Yeah, that's too easy for John Beeline. Bo Wagner, turnover on one end, doesn't force Isaac Haas out far enough on the other, and this Mackey Arena crowd is in this game.
Shot clock at 5. Poole in trouble. Air ball. Matthias. The crowd was ready to go off, and now Michigan has an opportunity. Duncan Robinson, a terrific three-point shooter, and we have another lead change, the 9th of the first half.
And John Beilein talked about it at shoot-around. Duncan Robinson does not need permission to shoot the basketball. He needs to come off aggressive, and right there, running the floor in transition, gets a great look and sticks it.
Eastern lays it in.
Well, a really good cut there, and an even better catch. I mean, no-gel Eastern right there. That pass thrown at his feet. Good hands to corral it.
Really good offensive teams. Tripped on his way to the basket. Crowd doesn't like it. It's going to stay with Michigan. Jerron Simmons. And now they're going to talk it over. And maybe not to appease the crowd, but inside the ball will go to the Boilermakers. Simmons, a graduate transfer from Ohio U. And he'll go back over after that turnover. And
to me, that's a foul.
Yeah, it looked like he got tripped. He's having a conversation with Beilein and perhaps pleading his case to just that. Matthias, 3.
Well, Duncan Robinson gets a little lost there and gets disconnected from Dakota Matthias. And Matthias is so comfortable coming off pin downs. Right there, sets his feet. You give him that kind of time, he's going to knock it down.
10-3 run. Purdue has its biggest lead. All the way to the basket to quiet the crowd, at least momentarily. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman.
He just has such a poise to him. And he's able right there to get to his right hand. Very good straight line driver. And an answer for this Michigan team.
You mentioned how poised he is. Some of his teammates say that they've never seen him angry. He has a very calm demeanor. Talking with him today, individually, wishing the offensive game is going a little better, but he's been locking down the opponent's best player. But nobody is locking down the pride of Oaks Bluff, Alabama, as Isaac Haas now has 13.
Well, he is taking his time, and he's so on balance right now. When he does those two things, he can really score the ball in the post.
Wagner got tripped and is called for a travel instead, and Beilein displeased. That's a couple.
That's not right.
That's a couple of plays where Michigan was driven the ball, looked as if they were tripped, and didn't get the call. But Haas is getting a lot to go his way. He's got 13.
In one single day, 2 power conferences, 10 games with new stars, familiar legends, and epic matchups, all for bragging rights. The Big 12 SEC Challenge on ESPN this Saturday.
SEC, the home end of the Big 12 SEC Challenge. In some of the cases, Baylor's going to be at Florida. Big 12 at home where College Game Day will be. It'll be Kentucky and West Virginia, Tennessee and Iowa State, Texas A&M, Kansas among those. The game in prime time. Calipari and Huggins, longtime friends, on my way to Morgantown. After this game, looking forward to getting there for that. By the way, if you happen to be, well, there's Isaac Haas, who has double Michigan's output in the paint. The officials came over during the break. They finally found where the clock error was, the 6-second error, so 6 fewer seconds than when you went to break, and a little miscommunication in and out between the two Edwards, and a turnover for the Boilers. So there's 6 fewer seconds. We're all set on the clock.
We're good to go.
Good to go. Isaac Haas, who has 13 of Purdue's 26, has been going back and forth with Matt Harms. Harms, a gifted shot blocker, one of the higher block percentages in the country.
Moves his feet really well for a big two, but Mo Wagner has to take advantage of him when he's matched up with the freshman. And right now you see him posting up. You've got to get the ball to him.
And they can't. Wagner had Thompson on him. Instead, Wagner gets a three-pointer on the way. He hits his only points of the night. He hit first three of the night. That one won't go down. They need to, you'd like to see them get it inside.
Yeah, I love it. You want to see him get it inside, but right there, Michigan drives the paint, gets a nice jump stop, gets a paint touch, and gets it back to Mo Wagner, who's obviously a very good three-point shooter. It's good offense, but when he has a smaller guy on him, I know he's not the greatest scorer down there, but if you can get him the ball, you can force some rotations. You can force some people to have to send a double. Put some pressure on this Purdue defense, and then get it to your shooters.
Last foul was called on the freshman Jordan Poole. Michigan still with just 4 team fouls in the first half. Only a couple for Purdue. That's a terrific look. Edwards to Edwards. Carson to Vince.
And we talked about the duo in the open. And they just seem to be so locked in on the same page. Carson Edwards able to get his game on and find his four-man.
9-2 run has given the Boilers their biggest lead of the night. Rockman, almost the dreaded net ball. I thought that thing was going to lodge between the rim and the backboard. Edwards to work on Robinson. And he trapped. Good defensive play by Duncan Robinson. Much more productive possession in the previous time. The two Edwards guys hooking up.
Carson Edwards utilizing the crossover dribble right here and just shakes Duncan Robinson. It's a good job of finding the open man for the easy deuce. If I'm Michigan and Purdue's going to switch these ball screens, I don't want to see their guards make a habit of going one-on-one. They need to do some other things, and you could see a hit back maybe where they give it up and get it back going downhill. Also could see them, we talked about throwing into the post.
But there's an example of what Robbie's talking about switching the ball screens. Despite the height differential, Carson Edwards came off and guarded Wagner. The turnover, and Carson Edwards buries it on the other end. Timeout, Michigan.
Defense lead to offense. Carson Edwards getting it done. Thought he could have maybe dumped it off to Wagner initially. Wagner does a good job of keeping it alive on the glass.
Arms tried to get it inside of the four. Xavier Simpson the other way. Right in the face of the shot blocker who couldn't get it, and a terrific play by the Michigan point guard. Arms is going to be called for his first foul, and Haas will come in to replace him.
Xavier Simpson just outruns everybody. Nice little steal here, and take a look at this. Look at that speed. And then the tough finish. Matt Harms unable to block the shot. Well, maybe a little... Hey, he got his arm, but what are you going to do?
Hey, man, he's given up 1 foot and 3 inches. Right?
This is the Big Ten. It's a tough conference.
7'3" kid from the Netherlands, Matt Harms. This shows Purdue's going to have yet another big guy. Simpson, who has struggled from the free throw line, as you mentioned earlier, completes the three-point play. And while Michigan appeared to be reeling a little bit, they've answered and closed the gap back to 4.
You got to love the response. And here we see for the first time tonight a double team. But a good job by Mo Wagner of holding his ground, and Isaac Haas just runs him over.
And he picked up his second foul in doing so, Robbie. So Harms is right back after having been replaced by Haas in just seconds.
Oh, baby, I don't know about that one. Haas didn't really hit him that hard.
Definitely had the position, but not much contact.
Right,
fair enough to say?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Think Wagner went Vlade on the people?
That would be a fair statement as well.
gamesmanship works. Wagner right by Harms. Wagner can't get it to go.
But you love the take. I mean, Matt Harms is not an experienced Big Ten player. And you've got a guy that's been through the wars with Mo Wagner getting to the rim.
Carson Edwards working on Abdur Rahman, who's called for the foul. It's his first. Muhammad didn't like the call. Purdue up by 4 on the Wolverines.
In the history of people,
on Haas inside of this game. Charge, go the other way.
Reese, Robbie, back to you guys.
You think Green ever came in here and complained about the whistle? Maybe a time or two.
I've seen him do it before.
Big 12 SEC Challenge Saturday on ESPN. 5th annual to Oklahoma and Alabama at 2:15 with Trae Young. Then A&M and Kansas from Allen Fieldhouse. And then Kentucky and West Virginia in Morgantown. College game day will be in Morgantown Saturday morning, and then the game at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Charles Matthews just picked up the foul for Michigan. Michigan now with 6 team fouls, next foul, and Boilermakers will be shooting. Carson Edwards.
And really good defense by Xavier Simpson. That's just better offense. I mean, he was in Carson Edwards' grill right there. Really made it difficult for him, and Edwards just made it tough. Pull-up jumper.
Abdur Rahman missed it, but Teskey finished it.
You have Purdue shot blockers converging on the basketball, and John Teskey finds himself all alone. He's given good minutes for this Michigan team with Wagner on the bench.
Teskey, 7'1". Maturing guys, filled out to 255 pounds. Still has a little more room to grow as well. Edwards feeling it and rattled out on it.
Love the way Michigan defending that pin down play, switching guard to guard, making it a little difficult there for Carson Edwards to come off and feel comfortable.
How about the maturity, Robbie, of this Michigan team? Purdue had it rolling in here, and now with an opportunity to get it back to a one-possession game. Matthews penetrating, and right on cue, they turn it over again. Mathias didn't catch it cleanly, and after it was knocked away by Simpson, Dakota stuck out his arm. He's probably fortunate he wasn't called for a foul.
Xavier Simpson making some plays on the defensive end right now. Active hands, really been a factor thus far tonight for Michigan.
Michigan already with 7 turnovers. They typically only turn it over just under 10 times per game. Edwards. Again.
He's playing with so much confidence right now. If you're not up on the ball screen, he feels extremely comfortable, and he can go up there, elevate, and knock it down.
Carson Edwards averaging 17 a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting high percentages. And Purdue stretches it back out to 7. Matthews chases it down. Excellent Purdue defense. Matthews finds Teskey, and Teskey's fouled on his way to the basket. That will be on DJ Thompson. He's going to get his first.
Carson Edwards utilizing some ball screen action here, and John Teskey, you see him, he's up, but not up enough. Carson Edwards able to rise and fire over the 7-footer.
Teskey, a 56% free throw shooter, but that one is clean.
He did a really good job on that last possession of rolling hard to the rim. Purdue's weak side defense not where it needs to be, not to the middle of the paint. Teskey able to roll really uncontested. Purdue has to foul to avoid giving up a layup.
Back to a 5-point game. Teskey has been productive in his time on the floor in relief of Mo Wagner. So now we're headed down close to the last 90 seconds of the first half. I would think this is an important time for Michigan. Can't let Purdue go to the locker room with extra momentum that can come from threes. Teskey got a hand on it and kept it alive for Abdur Rahman. Matthews has been quiet offensively tonight. Xavier Simpson knocks down the 3, and Michigan is back to within 2.
Well, Michigan's offense really operating right now at a high level, and if Purdue's gonna down the side ball screen and try to keep it on the right side of the floor, Teski's gonna have some opportunities to short roll and look to the weak side.
Arms working on Teske. And Teske is called for the foul. It's his first, and it's 1-and-1 time now for the Boilers.
Purdue's defense, now they are sucked in after the last possession. Xavier Simpson with a nice little ball fake, and if Dakota Mathias isn't going to rotate to you, you go up there and you stick that 3. Good offense right now for this Wolverine attack. And if you're John Beilein, you're down 2. I mean, you feel great about going into the half. Now 3, chance to be 4, but another possession here for your team. Got to like where you stand.
I've particularly been impressed from watching Michigan several times last year, having called their games. Tom makes them both. Xavier Simpson, who was a terrific scorer in high school, he had a 65-point game in high school as Mr. Basketball in the state of Ohio. He really struggled to score a year ago, and early in this season had struggled with a little loss of confidence in his offensive game, and he's really come on, and when teams leave him open, he does what he did in that last trip. Xavier has the ball again now, guarded by P.J. Thompson.
He's had some really complete games.
Look at that move. And over the big fella.
Wow. Xavier Simpson.
How about Simpson?
Showing off the handle there. Splits the ball screen, hangs in the air, and a tough right-hand finish.
Last shot time for Purdue. Carson Edwards knocks down the 3. Abdur Rahman can't get it going on the strength of Edwards' 3 and 6 of 11 three-point shooting in the first half. They'll take a 5-point lead to the break. 50% from the floor, even better than that in the first half. The three-point shot came along late in the half, and it's a 41-36 lead. They started inside and finished outside, and the Boilers won 15 in a row. They're up 5. Let's go to the studio and add Matt.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. It is indeed the Alfa Romeo halftime report. You mentioned that win streak, one shy.
Lifetime.com.
I am?
I want to be able to train as smartly and as accurately as I possibly can. And I'm always looking for those kind of things that can help me progress forward as just a healthy person and as an athlete.
Know your body.
shooting from both Michigan and Purdue in the first half. Boilermakers undefeated in Big Ten play, number 3 in the country, riding a 15-game winning streak with a 41-36 lead over the Wolverines. Isaac Haas did all of his damage in the first 12 minutes of the first half. Reese Davis, Robbie Hummel with you from Mackey Arena. Purdue has been hot, and the big fella really got him started. Michigan challenged him to play one-on-one in the first half, and he certainly did well.
And it was apparent that Matt Parent's game plan earlier was we are going to pound the basketball inside to Isaac Haas, and they did just that. And the big fella, like you said, single coverage for most of the first half, and he was able to really go to work. Here taking his time on John Teske, a big physical move, then getting to his right jump hook, a staple of Haas's repertoire. Now, it is important to mention, Michigan did send a double team late in the half. Love to see how that plays out. Have to love the bounce back, though, that the Wolverines showed. Able to really show some resiliency. They got down as much as 9 in the first half. Showed some fight, came back out of a timeout, and quickly cut it back. Only find themselves down 5. Coming back into the second half. Really, if you're John Beilein, I think you like where you're at. You know you can play better than you did in the first half.
It was really interesting, too, that Purdue showed its versatility in the number of ways they can beat you. Carson Edwards was scoreless for the first 14 minutes of the first half, but he scored 11 after that.
Dakota Mathias just with 3.
Michigan's leading scorer, Charles Matthews, number 1, doesn't have a field goal. Mo Wagner, their second leading scorer, only had a couple of field goals in the first half.
I like that possession there. You're Mo Wagner, you're going to drive Isaac Haas, not necessarily looking to score, but converging that defense into the paint. Find your teammates, get him a good look.
And it wouldn't hurt to pick up another foul. Haas has 2 that he picked up in the first half, and Michigan would appreciate getting the 3rd.
Definitely go right at him if you're Mo Wagner.
Xavier Simpson trying to feed Wagner. Knocked out of bounds, 4 on the shot clock.
And right there, he's got to give a target. You're not, Carson Edwards is little. You can't throw a bounce pass there. Have him give you a target high and throw him up, throw the ball to him.
Wagner, back iron, and Matthews has his first field goal of the night.
We'll see if that can maybe get him going, but he goes up and gets that rebound. Isaac Haas outguarding Mo Wagner on the perimeter. No shot blockers in the paint. And a good start for Michigan.
Now, the way Purdue executed in the first half, shot better than 61%. You expect to see any defensive changes from the Wolverines?
It will be interesting to see how they defend the post, and I think they'll go from there. But we haven't seen this man yet. We'll see if he can go.
Dakota Mathias. Mathias with his second three-pointer of the night in Purdue. Up by 6. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman with a terrific take against Vince Evans.
And what finish. Gets to his left hand, his offhand, holds it out there, keeps it away from the defense. That's what you need from your senior leader. This crowd gets loud, you move the basketball, get to the rim and finish.
Haas had good position, instead opted for the assist. PJ Thompson has another 3 for Purdue. Purdue has been torrid all season from 3. They've hit their first 2. Now, in better than 8.5 games, Robbie, that's 221 three-pointer attempts. They're shooting better than 50%.
I mean, they are a tough scout.
It's ridiculous.
They are a coach's nightmare. When you're going through that scouting report, you're looking at who are you doubling off of. PJ Thompson's shooting 51% from 3, and he's shooting a lot of times horn shots.
Wagner spins right past Thompson, but can't finish it, and then Haas comes over to try to stop him. So you couldn't score over the little guy, but you did over the 7'2" dude.
Well, he made it a little more difficult on himself there, but I love the move. Quick spin move. PJ Thompson not ready for it. Wagner being aggressive here in the second half. Gotta like that if you're a fan of the Wolverines.
Deep position again for Haas. Can't get it to go. Wagner does a good job keeping him from getting a second chance.
Try to push Haas out, but then also, once he gets the basketball, make him score over the top of you. Wagner. Michigan is in a nice little rhythm right here. And they are operating on the offensive end with a high efficiency. Matt Painter cannot like what he has seen thus far from their defense. Giving up an offensive rebound and now giving up some open shots, especially to Mo Wagner.
Michigan has hit 4 of its first 6 here in the second half. Wagner into double figures. Great look from Haas. And Vincent Edwards with the flush.
Vincent Edwards is such an underrated cutter. Right there. You see a little buddy action, big to big.
Abdur-Rahkman. Michigan has, for whatever reason, played Purdue very well over the last few years. Beat them in the Big Ten tournament last year. Had a one-point game of victory for the Boilermakers last time. Wagner with a steal. Tries to throw it off. It's Haas. Purdue gets it back. Carson Edwards is tied up. He's in a sea of blue and maize. Matthews ahead of the field. And Michigan has taken the lead.
And what a look-ahead pass there by Xavier Simpson. Finds Charles Matthews. And he gets off the ground so fast.
Michigan last led at 20-19. Now inside 16 minutes to play here in West Lafayette. Beeline's team fighting back. Here's Isaac Haas. Hasn't scored since the first 12 minutes of the first half, and now he has. And Purdue's back on top. I don't know what you do with him one-on-one. I mean, he's just a giant. I mean, he's gargantuan.
And Mo Wagner's a big guy, too, but he looks small next to him.
Well, Wagner, 6'11". Xavier Simpson. Oh, Globetrotters me.
A little skyhook action right there. Kareem would be proud.
Easy, big fella.
Calm down, Ralph. Calm down.
Still a good-looking hook off the drive from a young guy who you see his confidence growing seemingly by the game.
Really becoming a complete player. You look at the stat sheets, he fills it up. He gets rebounds, he gets assists, great cut.
And it's 2 terrific passes and great cut from Haas to Vince Edwards.
And right now they certainly have a nice chemistry. Haas able to find Vincent Edwards, who does such a good job of finding open areas.
We're seeing some offense. If you like offense, this is your place. Michigan's hit 7 of 9. Make it 8 of 10. Purdue's hit 5 of 6.
That was deep. I mean, Muhammad Ali, Abdur-Rahkman, he was a good 2 or 3 feet out past that arc. And if Purdue's going to switch with Isaac Haas guarding, they're going to give that up. That's just a big-time shot.
Abdur-Rahkman cuts off Carson Edwards, but Edwards steps back behind the 3. Charles Matthews cleans it away from Michigan. Abdur-Rahkman with 8 of his 15 in this half. Working on P.J. Thompson, getting in the paint. Haas swats it away. Matthias, clean look.
A little miscommunication there by the Michigan defense, and you have to locate Dakota Matthias. He steps into a 3, just kind of leaks in as the trailer. You cannot let him get a look like that because he is going to bury it on you.
16 lead changes. How much fun is this in one of the great arenas in college basketball? Matthews to the bucket and scores. Make it 17.
Well, he just explodes off the ground so impressively. I mean, that's a blow-by drive. Haas coming over. He gets off the floor so quickly.
Purdue's won 15 in a row, the nation's longest winning streak. Michigan's won 10 out of 12. Simpson got a little too close, a little too much contact with Matthias. And Xavier's going to pick up his second foul. A 1-point game, just over 13 minutes to play. Dakota Matthias, see it and be it. Got a good one in Mackey. Coming off that win against Kansas, takes on Alabama, and Texas A&M and Kansas, the ghost of AC Law going into Allen Fieldhouse for the Aggies. And then the nightcap will be Kentucky and West Virginia. Wildcats out of the poll. West Virginia still in the top 10 despite a stumble this week. College game day will be there. But nothing that happens in that challenge, I don't think, can really eclipse what we're seeing in terms of shooting in the second half from Michigan and Purdue.
Unbelievable. You look at the stat sheet for both teams. I mean, 6 of 8, 7 of 9, 4 of 7, 4 of 8, 3 of 5. And it just goes on and on and on for both of these squads. Really a fun game to watch this far.
Had 7 lead changes in 7 minutes here in the second half. Might as well make it 8 and 8 as Vincent Edwards scores and Purdue goes back on top by a single.
And that really is his bread and butter right there. If he catches it deep and get to that right jump hook over his left shoulder, so effective. Have to make him go the other way.
Matthews swings it into the corner. Shooting and scoring is Isaiah Liver.
And just beautiful basketball. That is textbook pick and roll execution right there at its finest by John Beilein's team. You're going to suck that help side in, make the extra pass, play basketball the right way. It's an easy game, Reese.
Liver is Mr. Basketball from Kalamazoo. He was the first Mr. Basketball from the state of Michigan to become a Wolverine in a decade. Matt Harms into the game wearing number 34 now. His number 32 got ripped in the first half. So that's the big fella from Amsterdam who winds up on the deck. 7 seconds remaining on the shot clock. We're at the 12-minute mark, and Michigan with a 60-58 lead. A torrid shooting second half of both teams. Got a great finish coming from West Lafayette.
As long as there is fear, as long as there is curiosity, as long as there are undiscovered corners of the earth, and as long as there is willingness and desire, then you are capable of more. The all-new BMW.
Matt Painter's Purdue team has the nation's longest winning streak, 15 in a row, and that is one short of the school record, but right now trailing Michigan by a deuce. Just behind Purdue is St. Mary's. They won 14 in a row. They play BYU tonight. As we take a look at tonight's Wendy's Wooden Watch, how about Jock Landale, big Australian who's having a sensational year for the Gales. One of 3 players averaging 20 and 10, along with Marvin Bagley from Duke and Bonzi Colson, who's injured at Notre Dame. Landale's been sensational because he Gonzaga this weekend, aren't you?
Yeah. Long trek out to Spokane, Washington.
Ryan Klein beats the shot clock, and it's another 3 for the Boilers. And another lead change in our game. And how much fun is it to watch offenses execute at this level?
I mean, both of them really operating. And right there, that is textbook again on the pick and roll. Teske doing a great job of laying Wood on the screen and then rolling right to that rim.
Terrific look from Xavier Simpson. I mentioned it earlier that Michigan has played well against Purdue. Why are the Wolverines? Well, Purdue's won their last 3 Big Ten games by 23 points or more. Why a tough matchup here to see Harms getting it in deep against Tuskegee score?
Well, first of all, Mo Wagner is a tough matchup for their side, especially Isaac Haas, and that's been the case really with A.J. Hammonds and also a little bit with Biggie Swanigan last year. So they've been able to play off that. And they've had really good players. You look at who they've had. Derek Walton Jr., a great player. Zach Irvin, very good. And this year they have guards that have really played well in the Purdue games.
Abdur-Rahkman, who's had a sensational second half, rains in another 3. He has double figures in this half, 13 lead changes, and Abdur-Rahkman now up to 18 points, 4 of 6 from behind the arc.
Great slip there by Matt Harms. You said it, Reese. Abdur-Rahkman playing like a senior. And both teams continue to have punch and counter punch as we come down the stretch here at Mackey Arena.
Abdur-Rahkman feeling it, but that one a little long. Another chance for the Michigan Wolverines. Teskey rolling again. Matthews trying to create a little space and see if he can take Klein. A lot of dribbling from Matthews. Abdur-Rahkman. Buckets!
This dude is in the zone. Right now, Abdur-Rahkman enjoying his last trip to Mackey Arena. He's getting his game on.
14 of his 21 here in the second half. Robbie wearing those pink shoes that he started wearing last season in the Big Ten tournament. Pulled them out of the closet at his house when he struggled earlier in the season. We may never take them off after that. And no matter what shoes Vince Edwards is wearing, he keeps knocking them in, and we're tied again. Edwards has only missed 2 shots tonight. He's got 19. What a game.
This is an offensive clinic on both ends of the floor.
And Matthias, I believe, is going to be called for the foul.
And the offenses are rolling right now. And Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahkman, he is shooting the ball with some confidence. Back on the other end, right back at you. Vince Edwards just sizes up Charles Matthews. He lets that thing fly.
Both teams are shooting 75% in the second half. Vince Edwards has 19. Tied at 68, 8:42 to go in front of a great crowd, better than 14,000 here at Mackey Arena. Purdue with the steal. Here comes Edwards. Wagner, did he tie him up or did he call him on the foul? No, they're pointing at Duncan Robinson.
Well, a missed opportunity for Michigan because that lob was there, and Abdur-Rahkman came off the screen, and unfortunately, I think he was expecting a lob pass, and it was really thrown like a chest pass. Vince Edwards doing a good job of bringing some offense out of it. They called Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything, and I thought Wagner had it tied up clean, but Robinson's going to be called for his first foul. Edwards will take it, and he's got 20 points tonight.
Vince Edwards is playing at a first-team all-conference level. You look at what he's been able to do, averaging 21 over his last 3. Really operating incredibly efficiently.
Matt Painter challenged him to play the entire season the way typically the last couple of years he played in the postseason tournaments, and in March he's done that, and he has been sensational here on this January night. And there's going to be an illegal screen called. Ron Simmons called for that one. That's his first.
Michigan trying to get to their dribble handoff action here. And yep, Jerron Simmons just kind of rolls through it, picks off Carson Edwards. That's a good call by this officiating crew.
I was just handed a stat, Robbie. 24 field goals and 2 turnovers in this half. Is that any good? Is that a good ratio?
I think that's pretty good.
Haas, Wagner got the block. Vince Edwards rolls it in.
Those are tough, Reese, because you have a great defensive possession. You do a good job of switching the guard-to-guard screens, then you block a shot, and you give up an offensive rebound. Deflating play.
Abdur Rahman took it all the way, and the whistle late. And the foul is going to be called on Vince Edwards. Purdue with a 4-point lead in matchup. On SportsCenter, a unique take on Tigers' performance at Torrey Pines. Andy North will join SVP, talk about whether Tigers can still shine. All-star rosters, LeBron and Steph, apparently, according to an alert I got, broke Twitter. Yet somehow Twitter keeps coming back. And also Senior Bowl with Todd McShay. It's always on the ESPN app. It's about the only thing that hasn't gone Abdur Rahman's way in the second half. He's been sensational. He missed that free throw. Robbie, earlier tonight on SportsCenter, Michael and Jamel, they asked me if I thought Purdue was the best team in the country. I said, not yet. But this is the 4th straight game. Abdur Rahman misses them both. 4th straight game in which they've made at least 10 threes. They got 2 giants in the middle. Haas is an offensive force. If they shoot like this, they're going to win it all. Jay Williams said it on game day last week. They're going to win the whole thing if they shoot like. How do you guard it?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows right now. John Beilein's fighting that fight as we speak, because if they're not shooting well, you still can go to Isaac Haas and you still can go to Vincent Edwards on the block. And defensively, they're going to keep themselves in games. Tonight is an incredible game. Both teams offensively have been great. This is really an aberration almost from a statistical standpoint for their defensive effort. But their defense will keep them in games most of the time, and they can just score the balls. If they are shooting the basketball well, I don't know how you go.
No answer for Haas that time. 17 for the big fella.
He has gotten so much better. I mean, it really is impressive to see over the course of 4 years the way that he can post up, make simple moves, make strong decisions, and really dominate games in the Big Ten Conference.
Purdue on a 9-0 run. Robinson. The 3-ball shooter going to the rack.
It's not his deal, but right there, puts his head down, finishes over the 7-footer. Love it.
There's only one explanation. All 10 guys on the floor just having out-of-body experiences offensively tonight.
It's unbelievable.
I'm all for it. Big fella. And one.
That is a grown man post-up right there. I mean, Mo Wagner, by no means is he small, but Isaac Haas just sealed him under the rim. You see it. Little dribble handoff action. Vince Edwards, the nice post entry. And there is nothing Mo Wagner can do right there. He was done.
Wagner, Haas finishes the 3-point play. Isaac Haas now with 20. Wagner's 6'11", 245, and he's given up 3 inches and 45 pounds at least when he's guarding Haas in the post. Simpson. Blocked by Haas. Simpson spilling on the floor. Beeline wanted the call. Carson Edwards, that's a really good defensive effort right there. Stepping in Jordan Poole with the quick hands to thwart the Purdue offensive push.
You said it, Reese. John Beeline not happy. And we see Xavier Simpson get to the rim, and it's tough to tell from that angle how much contact there actually was, but Haas stays in the play, blocks the shot.
At least Isaac helped him up. He's over a foot taller. Outweighs Xavier by 100. Air ball from Carson Edwards. Dakota Mathias. Abdur Rahman comes flying in for the rebound, and he'll pick up the foul. Haas got him across the arm. That's 3 on Isaac. Matt Harms racing to the scorer's table to check in for Haas.
Big possession here for Michigan. Unable the last few trips to really get anything going. I think you look at it. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman has been your guy this half. I might think about maybe putting him into pick and roll with Mo Wagner, but have Wagner slip out because Purdue is switching on contact right now. You have him slip out. Rahman can read it, throw it to Wagner, or take your man to the rim.
Simpson penetrates, turnover. Carson Edwards. Abdur-Rahman racing back, altered the shot, but they're going to get him for the foul.
What a great read right there by Carson Edwards, because he comes from the other side of the floor on this play. So intelligent. You see him right there. He's guarding Rahman. He reads the play perfectly. Wagner going to be wide open. Yeah, high-level defensive effort right there from Carson Edwards.
Edwards makes the first. He now has a dozen. And if he makes this one, the Boilermakers will match their biggest lead of the night at 9. He does, and they do. Danger time for the Wolverines. Now down 9. Mackey getting loud. Wagner. High into the air. Edwards can't get an offensive rebound from Livers. Fresh shot clock for the Wolverines. Beeline's going to call a timeout. John sensing that his team needs a basket, and very few better at drawing up ball plays than the Michigan coach. Purdue up by 9.
How do you win at business?
Wagner. Much needed for the Wolverines. Mo Wagner now with 13.
Such an impressive play call there by John Beilein. Just using Mo Wagner, knowing Purdue is switching right there, and he almost screened his own man in there. Gets himself free, confuses that Purdue defense.
Matthias might have been better served to kick that one back out, but swatted out of bounds. Isaac Haas will return. Haas with 20 points tonight. Is sitting with 3 fouls. Haas has had a huge game tonight and hit the decisive free throw in the first meeting of the season in Ann Arbor. Carson Edwards. Livers with the rebound, and Michigan, who was reeling on the ropes a few moments ago, a chance to draw closer. Simpson, a little too hard. He felt Haas coming. Shot a little too hard off the board. Wagner stands in and draws the charge.
You said it, Xavier Simpson, he had a layup. I think he did feel Haas coming, but he was way farther behind. Don't think he would have been able to get it. You see Mo Wagner making a play for his team, sacrificing the body.
And Vince Edwards, who's a perfect 3 for 3 tonight, was ready for a step-in 3 if Carson had given it up. And that's the type of play that Carson Edwards, this year has made consistently, and this time held on to the ball.
And that's been his maturity as a player. And you're right, that time not making the correct read. But for the most part this season, he's made that play.
He has been terrific all season and very good tonight. Wagner by Harms.
He's got to be aggressive because he's calling for that basketball, which I love to see. Got a freshman on him. You got to take advantage of that. Matt Harms has not been through the wars. Mo Wagner has. Right there, just whips him right off the dribble. Gets to his right hand. And again, another answer from this Wolverine team.
Matt Painter calls a timeout. Michigan was facing its biggest deficit of the night. Mo Wagner with 5 straight points. Baby.
Back to 100%.
Adnan Burke alongside Coach Tom Crean here in our studio. Penn State facing Ohio State. Keita Bates-Diop here, Coach, driving.
One of the best mid-range pull-up shooters in all of college basketball. The DeMar DeRozan of the Big Ten.
Like that comp. Raptors right now just a game and a half back in the Celtics in the East. Coming up next, Landry Shamet. He has been terrific. One of two players in D1 averaging 15 points, 5 assists per game on 50% shooting. That game versus UCF and ESPN 2 minutes away. Reese?
Adnan, Tom, thank you very much. Even the costume fired up here in Mackey. Big 12 SEC Challenge comes up Saturday. Oklahoma and Bama early. Texas A&M and Kansas at 4:30 from Allen Fieldhouse. And then the nightcap, Kentucky and West Virginia College game day will be there. That game tips off a little bit earlier this week, 7 o'clock Eastern time from Morgantown. It'll be raucous there. Certainly is here tonight as Purdue tries to extend the nation's longest winning streak to 16 straight and getting a fight for Michigan. Here's big Isaac Haas. And Haas has had a terrific night. Barely drew iron. Wolverines livers to the bucket and he can't finish.
That's tough. Mo Wagner pulled the chair out from Isaac Haas there. Were able to get out in transition. Livers got a great look. Unfortunately, just a little too strong, unable to finish at the rim.
Wagner comes out and he tried to get the steal instead. Mo will be called for the foul on the reach. Third on Mo, and he'll be shooting the 1-and-1. Dakota Mathias, better than 80% from the free throw line. Well, both these teams shooting better than 57% from behind the arc tonight. Better than 60% from the floor.
Sometimes you hear people talk about in baseball how I love a good pitcher's duel. They wouldn't like this game tonight, I think. They would not be about this.
Mathias is the front end of the 1-and-1. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Boilermakers. So a break for the Wolverines as the normally excellent free throw shooter Dakota Mathias had to rattle out. Lazy pass from Matthews, trying to get it to Wagner and a turnover and steal for Purdue.
They love to run that set and get Wagner posted up on the block. A little misdirection action. Really just a really bad pass. That's not acceptable at this stage of the game.
Double team on Carson Edwards. Mathias dumps it into Harms. Might have had an opportunity if he was thinking shot there. Mathias going to have to shoot up a contested three. Excellent defense by Michigan on that end.
Michigan's defense locked in. I would look for them to go a little ball screen action. Let's see if Mo Wagner can slip out, get himself free.
Wagner didn't get a piece of Vince Edwards after a rock bond driving on Vince Edwards, and Edwards very frustrated by the foul call. Felt as if he didn't reach, and after a rock bond created most of the contact, and at least based on the live view, I tend to agree with him. There's a little hand action. Now that Abdur Rahman
he's hooking him, he's falling down. I mean, that is not a foul. Now they're saying it's on the ground.
That's only 5 team fouls on Purdue, so we're not shooting. Michigan is in the 1-and-1. And Wagner tried to dribble through too many people, and Purdue closed it up and forces another turnover.
And really not good spacing right there for Michigan. Nowhere for Mo Wagner to drive. Purdue's going to talk this over here, drop a play in the huddle.
The Boilermakers with a 4-point lead, just over 2 minutes to play. They forced turnovers on Michigan's last 2 possessions, and we're coming right down to the wire this time, just as we did in the first meeting between these two in Ann Arbor. And they played earlier. They had the game tied at 69 late. There was an overturned call. Originally, the ball was given to Michigan. Instead, Purdue was granted possession, and Wagner was called for fouling Isaac Haas. Haas, good free throw shooter for a big man. He knocked down the first of the 1-and-1. Second one rattled out. So Michigan had a shot, but Charles Matthews had a desperation heave. Beeline referred to that drive as a circuitous route to the basket, and Purdue held on for the 70-69 win, their closest call in this 15-game winning streak. Haas got them off to a tremendous start, and it's been big in the latter stages as well as we head toward the 2-minute mark. 4-point lead for the #3 team in the country. Wagner in a play very similar to what he was talking a foul on. Couldn't get the ball, and Haas dunks it home.
And what a luxury at the end of the game to be able to rely on a guy that can get you a bucket. And a great post up there by Haas, seals off his defender and throws it down with some authority.
Abdur Rahman has had a tremendous second half. It's Michigan back within 4.
Just a poised drive right there. He's been that guy all night for Michigan. But the steady players, the steady presence for this Michigan Wolverine team. But let's take a look. Wagner, a little bit of a gamble there. And when you're 7-2, you can abuse that rep.
Worth the gamble, though, there, because he hasn't shown a lot of ability to stop him.
Right. I mean, yeah.
Or do you disagree?
I think you gotta make guys that kind of score over the top. If you're gonna gamble for that, you gotta get the steal. And right there, just doesn't get it. Now we see Matt Painter gonna be able to drop another play in the huddle here. I would think they're gonna go right back to Isaac Haas.
Haas scored 22 points tonight on 10 of 14 shooting. He's made both of his free throws. So many different ways that Purdue can generate offense, but that has been seemingly the most reliable one tonight.
And it'll be interesting. The chess match continues on. John Beeline, if they do go to Isaac Haas, do you send a double team? At this point, you haven't done it all night. Maybe mix it up, send him a different look. Been much better this year at taking care of the basketball, but in previous seasons, he's been a guy that you trap him, he can turn it over.
Seen a couple of good passes tonight, a couple of assists from him. This is a guy who only had 6 shots in his last 2 games because of the way teams were guarding him. Michigan showed some pressure in the backcourt, ate up a little time off the shot clock.
Look for the ducking. There it is. Buried him.
He's physically overpowered him. Wagner, that's 4.
If you're Mo Wagner, it's almost like, what can I do? I mean, he is just too big for him to guard, and look at where he's at. He's got him inside the charge circle. Wagner has to foul him. You were at his will.
Wagner's tried a little bit of everything against Haas tonight. Makes the first one.
This is an area of major improvement for him. A guy that really worked on his free throws. We saw him today after shoot around, spending some time with assistant coach Greg Gary, getting some extra reps in. Now you can leave him on the floor because he can convert. In the games, we're going to see Matt Harms come in, offense for defense.
Harms a really good shot blocker. Haven't seen a lot of that tonight. His shot blocking rate among the top 10 in the country, but it has been Haas's night on offense. With Michigan just down 2 possessions and a capable 3-point shooting team. Wagner can't get it to go, and Matthias able to keep Matthews off the board. A good block out, and now inside a minute to go.
Got a good shot. Wagner slipped out. Just a little short.
Carson Edwards has it poked away. A steal by the Wolverines. 2-on-1. Matthews takes it himself. He might have had Wagner for the dunk.
He did have Wagner for the dunk. Not sure why he didn't throw it up to him. Charles Matthews saying he had my arm. The officials beg to differ.
Beeline not pleased with it as we take a look at the replay. A lot of ball. Might have been a little bit of contact.
A lot of ball. Bang, bang play. But still, you got to give that up to your 7-footer. He's running the floor. Got to reward the big man for running there.
In addition to that, had Matthews been fouled, he hasn't been a good free throw shooter either. I mean, I know that type of thing's not running through your head as you're racing down the floor trying to make a play. But it looked like an opportunity for an easy 2. And flashbacks as the officials went over to confer to make sure that the ball was indeed off of Purdue and belonged to Michigan. We mentioned earlier that's what ended up giving the Boilermakers a chance to win in the first meeting. See it from 4-11, it's the same guy too. It was Matthews, and Matthews takes the shot from the baseline. 4-point game now, and a quick timeout for Wolverines.
That's just a complete defensive breakdown. They lose track of Charles Matthews there. He leaks out. John Beeline so effective at drawing up under out of bounds plays. Somehow, Purdue just loses track of Charles Matthews. That's a nice screen there for Wagner. Purdue gets caught up in a switch. Both go with Wagner, and Matthews is wide open.
Everybody thinking 13, instead it was 1, the transfer from Kentucky.
And it's amazing. As a shooter, you want to get a shot, set a good screen, because that's what happens. I mean, you set a good back screen, you set a good down screen, you're putting pressure on the defense to make a decision. And obviously, you screen for Mo Wagner. He's a guy that can make threes at a high rate. You're going to find yourself wide open. Charles Matthews did just that.
Now, everything that Beeline wants to tell his team, he's got to get it in this huddle here unless Purdue calls a timeout. Wolverines out of timeouts. Purdue still has 1 left. Michigan hasn't had a lot of luck against top 3 opponents, but they have beaten number 3 a couple of times, Michigan State, and then they beat Wisconsin. Of course, Wolverines had a great win against the Spartans in Breslin Center earlier this season behind a terrific performance from Wagner.
Wagner going to the bench, you have to think John Beeline is going to look to extend this game early in the possession, going to look to foul.
You look out on the lineup that Purdue puts on the floor, not a whole lot of great options out there to put on the free throw line.
It's tough. P.J. Thompson, 87, Carson Edwards, 80, Dakota Mathias, 81, Vincent Edwards, 83, and Isaac Haas, 76. You don't have many options.
Thompson gets away from a couple, and Withers has to be careful there as he's reaching out to get the foul. He's grabbing to get the intentional foul, but just the 1 and 1. And Wagner with the 4 fouls. They'll go offense to defense as Teskey goes back to the bench.
You have to think Michigan going to try, hope for a missed free throw here, play in transition. I would think you'd see them drag Wagner in for a screen and roll if they can play out of a flow type situation and have him slip right out. He's been able to get good looks. And really, you have to think Purdue knows that he's slipping at this point. They've switched all game.
P.J. Thompson, an 88% free throw shooter, hits the front end. This is also the last time we'll have the 1 and 1. It'll be the double bonus on the next Wolverine foul. Six-point lead. Wolverines to get it up quickly after Rockman continues his torrid second half. He has 26.
And a tough shot, but Carson Edwards cannot gamble like that. You take yourself just a little bit out of the play. Rockman's been so good tonight shooting the basketball from deep. You give him an inch. Tonight is his night from the three-point line.
He had 6 triples tonight. Career high evening for Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman.
There's the gamble. He just takes himself just a little bit out of the play. You want to beat good teams, you just got to be solid at the end of the game. Make Michigan score over the top of you. He's played a really, really smart game tonight, but that not a smart play.
It's Edwards now with 24, and it's a 2-possession game. Duncan Robinson on the floor, an excellent 3-point shooter for the Wolverines.
Ojel Eastern going to come in for Matt Harm, so Purdue definitely switching 1 through 5 now.
No 7-footer on the floor right now for the Boilermakers. That's been a rare occurrence tonight.
Still don't need a 3 if you're Michigan. If you get burned to the rim, plenty of time in this game.
Sampson does, and it is blocked from behind by Carson Edwards. On a night dominated by offense, that was a fine defensive play from Carson.
Xavier Simpson as fast as any guard in the Big Ten that we have. And Carson Edwards just never quits on the play. Keeps himself in it and makes a really nice defensive effort.
Simpson drives it again, and he'll go to the free throw line. An opportunity to draw closer without time coming off the clock.
And I thought he might have had Duncan Robinson coming off. He was coming. And the defender's certainly trailing. It's hard sometimes in the heat of the game, but no, he did have Duncan Robinson. Ryan Klein screened.
I remember how mightily Simpson has struggled from the free throw line.
You know now mentally that's going to play into this. It's going to take a really mentally tough kid to regroup after a miss like that. And got to get one though.
Just over 51% for the season.
Isn't it amazing how mental free throws can be?
Missed them both. The crowd here at Mackey starting to sense they're closing in on their 16th straight win, which would match a school record. The Wolverines are 0 for 4 from the free throw line here in the second half.
And just deflating misses. You leave points at the line, especially at the end of the game. And it's tough to overcome that.
There are a couple of Final Four banners in this great old barn, a national championship banner from the pre-tournament days. There are lofty dreams for this team that has so many weapons offensively. Gritty and tough on defense.
I think it's fair to say that you're seeing Purdue start to establish itself as a team that you can say they can get to the Final Four in San Antonio. But if you're Michigan, I know there's no moral victories, but you're going to look at this and say, hey guys, we can play with anybody in the country. Because Purdue, they withstood a serious punch tonight.
Simpson drives and scores virtually uncontested to get it back to a two-possession game. Michigan's got to foul quickly and hope that Purdue cooperates by missing some free throws. And the Boilermakers, that's sharp shooting from the perimeter, and they've hit clutch free throws down the stretch here. Can ice it away from the free throw line as Matthews has picked up his third.
At the line for Purdue, shooting 2, Vincent Edwards.
On a night Vincent Edwards has had 27 points, has not missed from the free throw line. Make it 28, and just for good measures, not like Vincent's just been scoring. He's got 5 rebounds and 5 assists too.
He is so versatile. I mean, he's a good offensive rebounder. We saw him really cut well off the basketball tonight. He's in guard. A really good college basketball player.
29 for Edwards, and this Purdue offensive juggernaut has put almost 30 points more than Michigan allows per game this season on this Wolverine defense. And they're going to foul Edwards again. It's going to give him an opportunity to get to 30 if he happens to be counting.
Add those stats, Vince.
Game should be well in hand to help out that average. Senior from Middletown, Ohio. Came in averaging a shade under 15 per game. And if he makes this one, he'll double it. That's his first free throw miss of the night. He hit his first 8. I think he knows he's got 29.
Pressure got to him, yeah.
Does he know he's got 29?
He has to. As a scorer, at the end of the game, you definitely hunt the basketball to go put yourself in the situation. You know you've got 29.
30.
Now you got 30.
Time winding down. Simpson will put in a little window dressing, and Michigan gave him a run, but the number 3 team in the country is going to make it 16 in a row. Vince Edwards finishes it off with his first career 30-point game. And the Boilermakers continue to be hot. Best start ever in Big Ten play for a team that has 4 Big Ten regular season championships than anyone. 92-88 the final. NFL Pro Bowl Skills Showdown coming up next. For Robbie Hummel and our entire crew, I'm Reese Davis. Thanks everybody for watching this thriller. Now let's send you out to Sean McDonough in Orlando.
Welcome everyone to the NFL.